All right, Pezza. Okay. We're doing this again, are we? Oh, God. Just bend the pinata. Just get fucking hammered. Okay, let's get into it first thing. Okay, India are 164 for 3, chasing 444 to win. 280 runs needed, 7 wickets in hand for the 7 wickets needed for the Australians to win it. TDC is brought to you by cricket.com. You can download the cricket.com app for all the stats and analysis. And the best thing about it is that it's user-friendly and it's been revamped for every cricket fan's liking. And there's actually really good stat dog woof woof stuff coming up later on, Pez, and that's thanks to the cricket.com team. But mate, I'm waking up this morning and do I have to say that it's out because it is? Like it probably is, and then people have already seen the thumbnail and the video, and there are no words, or maybe I'm not good enough at words to appease both sides and just calm the waters. People have already jumped online. They're not going to give a fuck about what we're going to say, and they're just going to say, well, it's because the umpires are white, that kind of stuff. And it's like, I'm 37. I don't need this, man. But I need it. Anyway, fucking pack 'em, Shubham. It's fucking out. Fuck off. It's out. Fucking carried. Fuck off.
Yeah. It's likely people have already formed their view. You know, I'd be very surprised if someone's like, look, I've weighed up both arguments, and I'm keen to kind of add to the various resources at my disposal to come to a nuanced and informed decision on the balance of probabilities, about what happened. I mean, you mentioned, he goes, the really ugly prejudice and undertones that can accompany these kinds of conversations, and it also, we have to call out that from time to time, particularly when we're at a low ebb or just feeling loose and reckless, we sort of absurdly wade into it, for our own amusement and sabotage.
Sure.
But by the same token, I think a lot of people will be tuning into this going, let's see the boys off the long run because I just want to see some blood and carnage, But I look at this one and I'm like, no, let's be considered at the top, if just for the sake of trying to be, civil about it and considerate, but So on the catch, can I have a go? Can I have a go on the catch? Some fundamental points to make. And we've said it before. Cricket isn't a game of rules; it's a game of laws. And hopefully, when you say laws, you say it sniffily. You look over your glasses. You say it condescendingly and patronisingly. And laws, by their very essence, by their very nature, are not mathematics. They don't always provide a single clear truth or objectivity in the way that 2 + 2 will always equal 4. It must always irrevocably equal 4. Laws don't always do that, right? Mm-hmm. Last night we saw an incident, and it's happened in cricket a few times lately, that fell into the bracket of something requiring an interpretation of the law as it's written. Now, that's a problem for a lot of people. I understand it doesn't work online that way. It doesn't work politically. It doesn't work economically, commercially, depending on how you make your money and where you live and the country your company's domiciled in. But the law, the cricket law isn't particularly clear or mention blades of grass or the idea that the contact of the ball with the ground irrevocably cancels the claim of the fair catch. It doesn't. It is, and if that's where it begins and ends for you, we're not having a conversation. Okay, if you see the ball touch the ground, and you conclude that there is no more conversation, then you have not grappled with the depth of the law. And I know that's difficult, but let's continue on. The law concerns control of the ball, right? Which is just not mathematical, is it? Now we're in the realm of interpretations. It concerns control of the ball and whether or not contact with the ground aids control or not. Richard Kettleborough, as seems to be the way with the elite panel of ICC umpires, determined that Cam Green was in control of the ball while his hand and his fingers simultaneously made contact with the ball as the ball was touching the ground. Okay? I think it's a reasonable interpretation in the circumstances, which isn't to say, he goes, that the alternative isn't arguable either. He may have said, look, he needed the ground to control it, so I will determine not out. It's not personally how I saw it on the balance of probabilities, but the point is these things are happening very, very fast. It's quite close. It's reasonably arguable that he applied the law reasonably and he interpreted it well. I also think, it's reasonable to say that it's grey area. Could have gone the other way. Now, and just I know it's long. I'm sorry. I understand there's going to be incels at keyboards watching this, ready to spew their bile. Incel life appears to be difficult and may be the result of broader social ills that communities must continue to combat at a domestic and international global level. Right? What I find unreasonable, he goes, do you want to come in there?
No.
Okay. What I find unreasonable, and what I'm going to go fucking hard at, is the very grim reaction of professionals who should know better in those circumstances. And moreover, the system around it that is reluctant to condemn them. Rohit shouldn't be flapping his arms at the umpire in that situation. The crowd calling Green a cheat is disgraceful. It's completely undeserved, and it again only serves to reveal the ugliness of unfettered national bias that Australians have participated in too, that we have mocked. And Shubman Gill, friend of the show, Shubman Gill, he's been on the cast more times than Greenie. He shouldn't be posting to multiple social channels 15 minutes after play questioning the decision. What are the conditions that leave him feeling confident about publicly questioning the umpire like that, presumably knowing the kind of incel reaction that it will incite? Not a good moment for a wonderful player who is going to be the next king.
Pez, I would like, personally for me, I would like to see religion somehow come into the ethics of laws in cricket as well. And I'm talking specifically like Roe versus Wade, that kind of stuff. And by that I mean the famous transaction between New Zealand cricketer Roe and wicketkeeper Matthew Wade.
Of course, yeah.
I think as well, just to pick you up on a point there, Pez, I think the crowd yelling out cheat, that was actually, I think the accountants for the ICC had walked past a certain section of Australian supporters and they were crying out cheat as protest for the ICC financial distributions. I think that's actually what was going on. Just so it happened to be that Cameron Green was it was sort of in the frame at the time. Yeah, man, like a very rare sighting of the double social post from Shubman. Where he has gone for the one photo on Instagram, different photo on Twitter, and because maybe he just didn't feel he quite nailed the post. The first one was like, no, I think this is a better one. Yeah, you're right. Really grim stuff, and no one it feels like no one's going to call that out. He's gonna lose part of his match fee because questioning the umpire's decision actually that can continue on to posting on social media. That is considered public display. So, I'm sure he's going to be financially okay in the future. But yeah, man, just grim stuff. And just in my life, just you described the catch very well there, and went through the laws and what that means and all that. I just feel like for me and I'm okay with the ball going into his hand and it being scooped up, and you can freeze frame it, and it looks like this and it looks like that in different angles, and there's a fucking slope on the ground, you can't see the bottom of his shoe. And just in my life, I'm really okay with the ball being edged to someone and it goes in the air, and it's morally out, it's just you hit it in the air and he caught it, that's in my life I can live like that.
Well,
but
you don't understand.
That's probably my problem.
Yeah. Well, you're socially and culturally influenced to whitewash these situations, as Richard Kettleborough.
I keep forgetting that.
Richard Kettleborough is a sleeper cell for whitewashing. No,
The third umpire was actually Jordan Peterson.
Exactly. I think one thing that's kind of sad about it is it's another sensational game-changing catch from Green. You know, that really arrests India's frightening to that point momentum. For the viewers out there who are wondering about the visit of my son just now, he obviously heard me wading into racial and prejudice issues and just he's actually my comfort animal. Oh no, Dad's winding up on the incels again. But in all seriousness, lift the hood. I'm looking after my little boy Solo because my eldest boy, it appears, may have broken his arm twice in 4 days, so he's at the hospital with my wife. So and if you just try and wrangle and ask a 2-year-old to sit down by themselves for a couple of minutes, well, good luck. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was a shame, and look, I got to say, like you, I felt deflated thinking about the discourse, and it's discourse we've had fun with before. I mean, even the Sachin Bradman stuff. I mean, those things are like, they're just very silly. They're silly conversations, aren't they? I mean, just comparing people of generations is inherently silly thing. You're never going to have an answer. You can get on with your life and stuff. But when you see it manifest in real life, where the 24-year-old is being sort of, they're chanting cheat at him.
Yeah, fucking grim. So grim.
Well, I mean, is it biased to feel for him in that situation? I mean, it's I'm sure he seemed fine, but he just took a great catch, and it was close, and the umpire makes an interpretation, and the ultimate kind of lesson in cricket is that you accept the umpire's decision even when it sucks, and sometimes it goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. And, we're really into and we're getting into the second thing here. He goes, so we're really into trying to, grapple with two competing ideas, because the competing idea I have with this, despite Green's great catch, is that India's coming hard in this game. And there is a good finish ahead. And I mean, you've written it down. He goes, but I'm talking, may as well introduce it. Rahane and Kohli give India a sniff. Kohli's got that glint in the eye, and it's gonna be a hell of a first session. And I'm really looking forward to. I mean, both teams are going to be bringing absolutely everything they have. You're going to be looking at Cummins versus Kohli World Test Championship final, and a record-breaking run chase on the cards, and Australia, as we have been this whole video, dealing with demons, of the past. The deck appears to be flattening out. India are playing freely and scoring quickly. Australia do not have, to my mind, a very good structural setup for when teams start to get the better of them. And we've already seen India once get under Australia's skin when Australia have dropped catches, and this is the big test for Australia once again. It is that effort to kill off a team, to win that big game. And I mean, and Kohli's, he's got the bull by the horns. It's going to be fascinating.
I was just looking at the World Test Championship table beforehand. It just popped up after I searched it specifically, and Australia's only lost 3 games in this World Test Championship cycle. So they've played 19, only lost 3 games, and they don't lose many games. Obviously, got done with 2 games there in India just gone, but 444. It just felt like they should have been chasing 600. And India just, because India is also a good team, and they just clawed their way back in, and Rahane and Kohli, Rahane has finished 20 red, Kohli 44. They were going at 4 and over. They've only batted 40 overs, and they won 164 indeed. So it's 280 tomorrow. It's entirely right, mate. That tomorrow morning feels like a big session where, maybe if there's any sort of anything in the air or off the deck, it seems to be happening more in the morning than it does later in the day. Maybe it's not that surprising at all, but I guess Australia will have another chance with a new ball, later in the innings if it gets that far. But this is it's great reward for a very exciting Test match where 280 on a day 5 deck, 7 in hand, 2 results possible. Don't think a draw is going to happen, but that's fucking good. I just feel like India missed Ashwin the more this game goes on. You know, like it's taken some turn, and you know, I know Boise Yadav nicked off Manas early on, and that was a key wicket as well. But yeah, runs as well down the order. I mean, Umesh Yadav could just hit 40 off 10 balls, and that's kind of fun because I feel like most Indians sort of enjoy watching him bat more than he bowls. But yeah, it's all there to play for. And like, can Australia's leadership be strong enough when they're being challenged? And it's a really huge test for Cummins, who's a new captain, and wouldn't mind seeing a couple of catches being taken and some no balls not being bowled, as was the case in the first innings. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, can Kohli elevate himself to fucking Dhoni-esque hero status for one day? If he hits 150 here and he wins the World Test Championship, he doesn't need to do that, but he. I feel like the country would melt down if he did. Can I just go? I'll introduce it to that point, Pez. Stat dog, woof woof. So the team from cricket.com have been helping us out with some stats here through their Crickalytics. Virat Kohli in tests in fourth innings on day 5, 9 innings, 578 runs, averaging 96.3, 350s and 200s. That's a best of 141 versus Australia, of course, in Adelaide 2014 when he was fucking unstoppable. But he's the guy because he's one of the best players ever. He also went past 2,000 runs against Australia in both Tests and ODIs. Only Tendulkar, Viv Richards, and Desmond Haynes have done that. And also Rohit Sharma became the 11th opener to register 13,000 runs. So that's pretty good for them. But yeah, Kohli, is Kohli your guy?
Oh, mate, big time. I mean, what can you say? I feel like I'm so wary about comments at the moment, which I shouldn't be. Like, oh, well, that's a real climb down, guys. From what you guys were saying earlier, it's just like, again, two ideas. You know, India started the game poorly, and then they fought their way back into the game. You know, I think, given the conditions and Australia's history and the quality of Virat Kohli, I think CricViz has them at 17% chance of winning. You know, Kohli will take that. You know what I mean? And once again, you know, you don't get this in sport very often where, like, you know, everything lines up over a period of time. They're rounding the bend into the home straight, and India are coming home strong. So we're just going to see who stands up in this situation. I suspect Australia will just continue trying to get wickets. India are going to try and get the runs at a good clip. You know, once you do get on top of Australia, they do find it hard to reverse it. And you know, waiting in the wings is Brendan McCullum's team. Given that this is a warm up, and that's what we'll be saying with either result, but especially if Australia loses. But you know, it also leaves me thinking about how many times we're going to be watching this kind of game, you know, into the Ashes as well. But you know, it's a great reward for what's been a pretty absorbing Test match in so many ways. I mean, you know, Rahane's in there as well. I thought Pujara played a strange shot to get out, a very, very un-Pujara-like shot, but perhaps that was part of the brief to keep things ticking along. Yeah, it's all there to play for. I mean, I suppose if you're Australia, Alex Carey said this at the end. You know, if they stay disciplined, they stay patient, they hit their areas. I think, you know, if you can't defend 444 in the fourth innings, you know, then I don't know what you're meant to say. You know, Australia's played good cricket. They've given themselves every opportunity. I think they would have taken this kind of scenario at the start of the game. And now it's about the fourth innings and whether they can finish it off.
Just before all that happened, Australia obviously finished up the second innings, the third of the game. They finished 270 for 8 declared. When Manas nicked off early on, that made it 5 for 124. Which was, you know, it's still a lot of runs to chase for India, but then the partnership of Carey and Stark, they put on just under 100, I think it was. Carey 66, very neat, clean. Mitchell Stark's 41 or 57 was also felt really important. But Alex Carey, nice runs for him down the order. Again, a nice little warm up before the Ashes. But that partnership between Carey and Stark, I mean, I guess we'll find out how important it is. But it did feel like, you know, if India chased sort of, you know, 360. that's less than what they have to chase now, is my point.
The number is lower. They need to make fewer actions to get their hands on the mace. 66 to go with his 48 in the first innings as well. Low key, good performance, and looked good too out in the middle. Alex Carey, neat, clean, busy. It's and Stark 41. I know he's still going at sixes with the ball. I suppose I suppose that's the deal with the devil you make with Mitch Stark. He might go for a few, like Stuart McGill used to go for a few, and then he'll just bowl an absolute rip snorter and get that wicket that you need. That's and I think he knows that. I think they're comfortable with it, but I still feel uncomfortable with him going at 6 and over, because all I want is perfection at all costs and times. Very simple chalk.
Hashtag AskTGC, and I thought this rounds it up just nicely, Pets. This is from Kuldeep, who left a message like so. So he's so the Cam Green catches happened, and then he's jumped onto an old video and just dropped a comment, completely normal stuff. Hashtag RCDC, the tendency of the Indian cricket team to prepare shit tips is countered by the omnipresent Aussie spirit of cricketing infidelity. I guess we all have our quirks, lads. A generational sports culture to win at all costs being imbibed by the new generation. Well done, Green. The daunting target of 444 seems like doable on the face of past humiliations and traumas of the Gabba. But boys, the fortress of cheating culture by Aussies can never be breached. Wait for day 5, then pry about the Asian century to save face, mate. Hashtag Guildford nil. I hope, Kuldeep, that felt fucking amazing when you punched that into the keyboard. I hope that you got all the feelings out that you wanted, and that your heart is full, and that you are happy for doing that thing. Have a wonderful day, and a joyous life, and I hope both teams have a good handshake at the end, and we all get along with our fucking lives. See you later.